In November, December of 2016, and January of 2017, the CIA released documents within the CIA General Records file. Now, there's over 1 million documents in that file, and they're not cataloged by any specific groups, period. These files are records that they went through under the Crash program and reviewed them, and they decided to declassify them. Now, once they were declassified, they were sent to the National Archives.
Okay, because we have another library where we keep all of the stuff,
And
the National Archives. And I will add one thing to people ought to know, that you spend a lot of time downloading documents because you know where to find them, and you know that this is the actual physical proof, this is the actual documented proof of what you're saying. Even though you have the experiences, he's done the retrievals, and you got very emotional at the Washington Press Club about the letting go of the one being, and you were reprimanded for that, right?
Mhm.
And you let him go, and you said you'd do it again.
but that's why you try not to talk about personal experiences, because you relive them.
You relive
While
them.
you're talking,
it happens
yeah,
again. You can see it living color.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's living color, 3D. It's like you're not here. I mean, all of a sudden you're in a different period of time, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Barney and Betty Hill,
Yeah.
which was the first known UFO abduction. They were the first ones to come out 5 years after the event took place. The event took place in 1961. They started to talk about it in 1965.
It was traumatic.
It had a very dramatic effect upon them.
Right.
And the psychologists that hypnotized them in different locations, and they were telling the same story. And the one thing I want to point out here, because I think it's very significant, that everyone overlooks, Betty Hill she was scared just like Barney. And she was thinking, people aren't going to believe this, people aren't going to believe this. And one of the ETs that was trying to make her understand, you're going to be released here shortly. So don't be alarmed. Don't think that, that anything bad's going to happen. You were trying to reassure her. And she's saying, but no one's going to believe this. No one's going to believe this ever happened.
Yeah.
And she saw this book, very strange book.
Yeah, there was a book there, and she wanted to take it.
And she said, I want to take that book.
Right.
That way I can prove
That I was here.
that I was here, and this really did happen. And the ET that was trying to go ahead and calm her down says, you can have the book. When you leave, you can take it with you. Now, the entity that seemed to be in charge came up and said, no, she can't have the book. When they leave here, they cannot have any recollection that this incident ever occurred.
But she did have a star map, and she did see certain stars that weren't invented.
Under hypnosis, she went ahead and drew a map that clearly pointed out that the visitors came from a location approximately 37.5 light years from planet Earth, known as Theta Reticulum 1 and 2.
Yes.
And when she drew that map, no one, and this is very important, because of the people who are the debunkers came out later on. But first, let's get what really happened. 65, she draws the map. 69, Marjorie Fish, I believe her name was.
Marjorie Fish.
She went ahead and did all these various options.
Calculations on that.
And voila, she came up with the map that Betty Hill drew. It fit perfectly.
Yeah.
So that came out, and all the, God forgive me for what I'm about to say, all the idiots want to go ahead and want it to be that UFOs don't exist. There's nothing to them. They're crazy.
But I think the reason why, I don't know, do you agree, is they can't handle it?
We can handle it.
No, they can't handle it.
Well, they can't handle it. I mean, I can show you an Army document that's a intelligence document that says that they could have a UFO land in the backyard of a bunker, and they could see it, and they could see the little guys getting out and walking around. The next day, they would get out and say that was nothing more than swamp gas. and there were pieces of the swamp gas breaking off from the larger piece that looked like people, but that's all it was. There's nothing to it. And because, you know, they are already set in their own innovation of themselves, their inner sanctum, their security blanket.
The security blanket.
They go ahead and hit up on this because they feel secure, because they are the highest form of intelligence among the species known as the human race. And if there's something out there that is got a greater degree of intelligence that did not originate on this planet, then they feel threatened.
Yeah, because it can't handle it.
Well,
And not only that, but in your case, it really affected your family in your life.
oh, yeah.
I mean, it does change your life. It isn't easy.
My kids could not understand. I was supposed to be a clerk,
Yeah, right.
and I went on a lot of TDY. That
What's TDY?
TDY is temporary duty, which
Temporary
means I
duty.
had to be volunteering for it.
Yeah.
When it took me 6 months to get my wife and kids there in Vietnam, or there in
Your wife is Vietnamese.
yeah,
Yeah,
but to get them in Germany with me.
Yeah.
And when I got them to Germany with me, I got them there on a Friday, and what happens, I'm told that on Monday I'm going out on TDY
Temporary duty.
temporary duty situation,
Okay.
and they couldn't tell me how long it was going to be. I said, wait a minute, I just got my family here. You know, they don't know.
What do I tell them? What do I tell them? Yeah.
And that wasn't their problem.
Well.
So the whole situation is, here it was, that Monday I had to go, and fortunately I had some good soldiers living in the housing area where I live that helped take care of the family. And I had some people, I'll go ahead and say this much, the Inspector General of the Department of the Army flew in from Washington, was in charge of what was going on there. And I'll say it right up front, I wasn't always a good soldier, you understand what I'm saying? I went ahead, I spoke up for what I felt. No one's going to tell me that you have to be this way, you have to do that. I would not go ahead and breach security, but at the same time, no one's going to live my mind rent free.
Yeah.
And that right there is a term you're going to hear me say all the time. Don't let anyone live in your mind rent free. And, you know,
Control your life.
well, that's it.
As much as you can.
This situation, you know, I mean, I've seen service members who took their own life because all of a sudden they're confronted with something that all their lives they were taught doesn't exist.
Right.
The same, and you know, people hate it when I bring up God, but I have to do this. The same God that created us created them.
Absolutely. I mean,
And-
it's logical. I think it's logic. Why would he just create human
Yeah,
beings
and if you
here?
don't believe in God, there's one thing you have to stop to think of. You know, even they will tell you, that which you call God exists. We cannot tell you which religion is true and correct. I'm Catholic, and I'm going to die a Catholic.
Right, but it's
But I'm not
all-
going to try to force feed other people to be Catholic because I'm a Catholic.
I understand, and what people have to understand is that we are more similar than different in all of the religions. They are more similar than different,
Oh.
and it shouldn't be the religion that separates the human being, because
No,
they're all
and it
created by
shouldn't be.
one.
And the one thing that is very sane, I can prove this scientifically also because there's scientific documents on it, is that the universe didn't just happen, and we know this scientifically, that from the time of the Big Bang all the way up to present, little things at just the right time had to happen for intelligent life to appear anywhere in the universe. So to say, oh, no, it just all happened,
But you know, the Vatican through Monsignor Balducci, who's a very close friend of mine, said, of course, he said, there's a hierarchy. God created beings that are on different levels of consciousness. Some are more evolved, and the evolved ones can come here. We can't go anywhere. We're stuck here because we're still playing the same old games. We can't go out into outer space and meet them unless we absolutely grow up in our consciousness.
That's it, and they are also, even to this day, trying to get a better understanding of us.
Yeah.
And the way they do that is they choose people worldwide who they want to interact with at a very young age.
Like you.
Yes, and go follow them all the way throughout their life, learning from them. You can't just go, and land on the White House lawn and say, take me to your leader, because you're gonna get the politics of that nation. Or that
Right,
group
and
of
yeah,
people.
why would they land here? They can land in China, or they can land in
Absolutely.
Russia, and they could land
And,
anywhere
well,
they
it's
want
happened. I mean, you know the school where the children were saying
Yeah,
that they were
that's in
saying?
Africa. Yeah,
I'll tell you right up front, what was happening there, they were picking children,
Yes, that they
and
would
I can
follow.
prove this now, that would go ahead, that they were gonna follow throughout their lives,
Yeah.
to learn about those various cultures
To
and
learn
subcultures.
about them, yes. It's like anthropology. It's like, it's logical. I see it as logical. People, because sometimes they see it through the filter of religion, think it's bad or good. Are they bad or good? Are they here to take your soul? Are they here to kill you? Are they here to do this? Because we think like that. We have that thinking. Are you bad or good? And if they came here and saw what we were doing right now, they'd come to the conclusion we were all bad. I mean, if they watch some of
They're
them.
very concerned what we're doing right now. I'll tell
Yeah.
you right now, and you know me well, Paul, you
Yeah.
know me for many years, I don't get active about, you know, political things and
Yeah, I know.
all that good stuff. I mean, I vote because
Yeah.
I have a mouth, and as long as God can let me hold a pen in my hand, I'm going to let politicians know when I'm dissatisfied with some of the things they do. But as far as whether it's a Republican or Democrat that wins, that's immaterial to me. Whoever's in charge, and I feel they're doing something wrong, they're going to hear from me. This year, this presidential election, I can show you on the document.
I know where you're going.
They became very concerned
I'm sure they
about this. I'm going to tell you right now. They saw us, and I think they may even still be on that little kick, if I can call it that, of being very concerned about we are closer today after this last election to a thermonuclear
Nuclear war.
exchange
I
than
know.
ever before.
I realize that, Cliff, and I'm so glad you're sitting next to me, because I think that people need to understand that this is no game. This is not
No.
a game. It's not entertainment. Ufology is not entertainment. It is not a game. It is an interchange with cultures that are much more evolved, that are trying to warn us. Don't go down that road. We've been there. Yeah, don't go down that road again. Don't go down it.
But you know what? It's almost to where it's going to happen again, because it happened before. We had our missiles and our silos.
So you think we're gonna have like a Cuban Missile Crisis thing
I don't think it's going to be
happening?
like that. It's going to be something that very few military people talk about. We
And
had
is the general public gonna know?
eventually, and you know, we had our missiles and our silos ready to launch. They already had
That's
their
right, that's right,
targets.
that's a mouse.
We had our bombers
Ready to go.
ready to go, and they'd all be airborne within 15 minutes after they got the signal. They had designated targets. Made no difference if they came back home or not. There would be no home for them to come back to. But we had all this planned. Both the opposition, they had it, whether it be Red China, or whether it could be
Russia, all
the
that.
Soviet Union, the former
Right.
Soviet states, as we
Yeah.
call them. But the situation is, each of those countries had situations where their missiles started to launch.
They
by
started to
themselves.
launch by themselves.
We had it happen in the U.S., we had it
That's
happen
scary.
in the former Soviet states, we had it happen in Red China.
Yeah, the
And-
codes went off by themselves. In other words, the codes were, nobody did it.
And no one
did it by
and
itself.
no one could stop it.
But nobody could stop it. I know.
And just seconds before the launch, in the sites where these were taking place,
They stopped
they
it.
stopped. Now, at that time, there was major concern, and a lot of people think, you know, well, some of the military is talking about that. I know a good friend of mine, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He even wrote a book about it. People were saying, no, he's lying, he's lying. No, he's not lying. I'm going to tell you right now. There are more documents than what he had initially when he came out that clearly indicate these things.
This
happened.
happened. Yeah, and actually, they can shut us down. They can stop us from killing each other. But don't you think they're getting tired of it? Don't you think that it keeps happening over and over and we don't learn?
You know-
I mean, don't you think they someday they say enough of this and we're going to go home?
No, they're not going to do that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's not all the human race.
No, it's not us. I know
It's
not
the
all
mad,
human
it's the
race.
mad men among them.
Yeah.
It's the people who are full of greed, people who want all the power. But you know, they see people who strive. They see the good in all
They do
humanity.
to see the good ones too. I know.
And that's why they hold on.
That's why they give us a chance.
Well, yeah, and over and over.
Over and over again.
And
I know.
the situation is, they see the good in humanity, it's worth saving.
Yeah.
And until we get, and I use the term spiritual, till we become more spiritually inclined in our thoughts and our deeds.
Or understand our higher consciousness, yeah.
Well, until that happens, we're a planet in quarantine. They're not going to let us go. Do we have the knowledge to go out there? Yeah,
We
do.
probably do.
And you heard me, I'm going to say it again because we had a talk and you heard me say this. People ask, well, what about colonies on the moon? What about colonies on Mars? And I said, you know what? The whole situation is if there are colonies on Mars and there's colonies on the moon, and I believe there's someone on the moon, I believe there's someone on Mars. And we have caves on Mars that we know about, that the only way we can explain them is that they were artificially made. They didn't naturally occur, which indicates that there was some type of intelligence. But if we have people from this planet that are there, we're there by invitation. And it's not any government that put those people there. And I have a lot of people within the UFO community, because they're making money off of it, say, oh no, he's just trying to destroy what we're trying to say. No, I'm not.
But they have no proof. And this is the problem, is that for me, research is not an opinion. Research, and we've been doing that, we've been doing it now. We did a whole field research, because I only do field research, as you know. I got to go to the places and talk to the people and so forth. You can't just have an opinion about something without any kind of background or having gone there or having talked to the people. It's detective work.
I hate this. I don't have my glasses. I'm often forgotten.
Yeah, but I can read it for you if you want me to.
Oh, I'm going to read it because
you can
there's a
see
shot
it?
point I want to make here.
Okay.
This right here this was released December 27th, 2016.
Okay.
The actual publication of the open source document was April the 18th, 1977.
Yeah.
And people, oh wow, I wonder what this is all about.
Yeah.
It came, 77 came, went, nothing happened, and we forgot. But every year we're talking, this is the year we're going to get disclosure. Well, on the week of April 18, 1977, U.S. News and World Report had a little paragraph that read like this. Before the year is out, the government, perhaps the president, is expected to make what are described as unsettling disclosures about UFOs, unidentified flying objects. Such revelations based on information from the CIA, because the CIA has control of all of this, a small nucleus there, and when there's a problem that comes up with UFOs, they meet in what's called the White House Situation Room, bottom line, and of course the NSC, which is the National Security Council, is the ones that keep all this under wraps. And the director of the CIA is actively involved in that. And even right now, well, I won't say he's involved right now because I don't think they trust the current head of the CIA. But anyhow, could be a reversal of official policy that to the past has downgraded UFO instances.
Okay,
And
so it was a possible disclosure.
Well, this right here was declassified in part, and the sanitized copy was approved for public release in 2013. It would not be until December 27th, 2016 that the CIA saw fit to go ahead and release it publicly. But this is the page from the CIA files. Now, everyone says, okay, well, this is public knowledge, so what? Here it is. Well, I'll tell you what the problem is with that, and what bothers me, is that at least one page of that, what they have in their file, and this is 2017, this is April the 27th, 2017, one page at least is still classified. This right here
Page is
proves it.
denied, and you don't know what's on that page.
And, you know,
Could you put this on your Facebook for everybody?
oh, I'm going to be putting, I got a lot of stuff.
Because we're almost finished with the transmission, aren't we? We have 5 minutes? Okay,
But
because...
I'm trying to get all this, but you know what, this coming up,
Oh, no, you have to take care of yourself.
and, but no, right now I have about 30 documents, and some of those documents are 30, 40 pages, so I'm gonna let you have some documents I want you to take with you.
Okay, but we need to let a lot of people
Yeah,
say
everyone needs to see this. Everyone
so
needs to know what's going on.
What do you usually do with Facebook? I noticed that
I go ahead and I have to do it page by page, make it like,
Yes.
a photograph, then I have to put them up there page by
by page, and therefore people all over the world get to see him.
Yes.
It's not just us here in America, but he has a following on Facebook. It's absolutely astronomical. Because when I put that he was in the hospital, all these people from all over the planet started writing about, they're happy you were feeling better and so forth. So there are people all over the world. Facebook, social media helps with disclosure. There is disclosure if you want to read it. I mean, go to social media, so you can do this.
And it's so important. Like what I'm hitting up on right now, and it's key, is I cannot stress 1952 enough.
Yeah.
Because in 1952, the CIA was working very hard to keep the National Security Council from becoming officially involved. With that being said, what people need to know is that until just January of this year, it wasn't publicly known. Mm-hmm. But we did, in fact, the IAC, which is the Intelligence Advisory Committee, did brief the National Security Council, and for whatever reason, the documentations dealing with UFOs and their interaction with the National Security Council, those documents have never been released.
Okay.
They are still classified. But the whole situation was dead wreck, which is why the Robinson panel came into play. Mm-hmm. To block the NSA from becoming officially involved, in which they would have to go ahead, and I can show you a draft of what they would have had to release, of what was called the National Security Council Intelligence Directive. That would have gotten the entire intelligence community involved in UFOs, and what would have happened? We wouldn't be sitting here talking about
we just
are we
know.
going to have disclosure. It would be common knowledge that we are not alone in the universe, and they are here among us now.
All right. Well, we're so happy to have you. I'm glad you came, and we have very little time left. But if you have, I heard from Portal to Ascension that people can see this not just live the way it is today, but they can also see it by requesting it. And I'm hoping to put some of it on my website.
Well,
and
is it going to be on the internet?
It's live now.
Okay, but is it going to be on the internet later on?
It could.
Yeah, it is on the internet now.
Yeah, it's on the internet now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's got, because you know how close I am with my dog, and my dog's going to want to see it.
Okay, well, the truth is, yeah, you can get it on the internet because when it's live like it is, people are at work at this hour. Mm-hmm. People aren't home yet. They're talking to their friends. Oh, you want to see this? Because the fact that Cliff is here is historical, and the museum is historical. So that you get a chance to do it again, to recommend it to your friends and watch it again. And so, at a time when you come home from work and you have the time to do it. It was a 2-hour. It was a 2-hour, podcast or whatever. And the thing is that people that really want to know the real thing, that want to know the real research and the real people, should tune in.
One thing I'd like to point out right here also is that my time goes short. This is the second time that I came very close to death with this here in a little more than a year. And I got a whole lot I got to get out there. And because these are documents that will be thrown out because my family's not really involved in it. And these are documents that belong to the world, and these are documents that people need to see. They are the truth as we know it, and they clearly point directly to the fact we are not alone in the universe. That some form of intelligence of various kinds are visiting us now, and will be doing so in the future. Until that great moment, in sometime in our future, and I hope it's sooner as opposed to later, that we have that open contact. And it won't be bad, it will be something that will be great and we need to be looking forward to. Man is not alone in the universe.
All right. Thank you. That was really great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
want to say, give your websites and where we can
All
find
right,
more information
okay,
on the two of
well, my website, actually, I've written 5 books. You can look in Amazon to get them. The new one is on Colonel Phil Corso, Conversations with Colonel Corso. And my website for the conference, which is very important. He's going to be there. He's going to be there and talk to George and Uri on stage, is www.starworksusa. It's all one, starworksusa.com. And my work in South America with the contactees and so forth is on I'm Italian, paulaharris.com. And do you have a website? You have a website.
I have Facebook.
Yeah, he's on Facebook.
And I had a website at one time, but I'm just one person, and when you get, they'll shut down your website when you get so many emails, and I try to answer all my emails. Here recently, due to medical reasons, I haven't been able to do that. Even personal appearances.
What is
it? I have my Clifford Stone.
Yes.
The public figure site on Facebook. Then I have my personal page on Facebook.
And your email, do you talk about that at all?
I have no email site.
No email.
No.
In other words, if people want to write you.
Yeah, I used to have a Gmail site, and that lasted for about a week before it actually just crashed on me because there were
So many people. But if you have anything, I will refer them. My email is paulaharris@hotmail.com, and I will refer to Cliff.
And I never go ahead, like a lot of people, because when they start saying things that I should be angry and upset with, people say, why don't you go ahead and block that person from your website? I'll never do that, because that right there is them going ahead and I'm trying to control their thoughts.
Yeah,
If they think I'm the worst person ever, they have that right to think that. And I'll never block a person from coming up and saying, you know what, you're a sorry so-and-so, you're a liar, you're this, I'll never block a person from that. But the whole, even if I can't befriend them, right now I'm full as far as befriending goes on Facebook, but they can still get there. They can still leave a message.
Yeah, and they will see, and you can still see him. You can still see him in Laughlin. Sign up right now before the early bird ends on June 1st. So you can sign up at starworksusa.com. And you can come and physically talk to him in Laughlin. And it is November 10th through 12th of 2017 at the Aquarius Hotel in Laughlin, Nevada.
And I know that a lot of people who visit me on Facebook are going to be there. And I want the people to know right now that I'm approachable. It's not something that they have to worry about. If they approach me, there's going to be 100 or gazillion bodyguards that's going to block them off. I welcome people coming up to where I can talk to them. And like I say, I want the information to be shared. If I give you CDs, DVDs with documents on them, I want you to feel confident to go and make 100 or 1,000 copies to give to other people, because I want other people to have this information. Knowledge is power, and it's that knowledge that makes us free. Not having other people to go ahead and live within our lives telling us what to do and what we are to believe and what we are not to believe. An open mind and our own intelligence armed with knowledge. That knowledge is what goes ahead and sets us apart from, shall I say, other forms of life on this planet. And that's very key. And also, I'm privileged, I think, to say that I live in a country that permits us to go ahead and disagree with even our elected officials. There's quite a few countries in the world today that you don't have that. But I can tell you right now, even the people in those countries where they try to control the thoughts of the people in those countries, those people are coming out of their shell. And they are saying, I want to know the truth. And it's up to all of us to share the truth. And here again, I think that the documents are the most powerful truth that we have.